ladies and gentlemen, to an all-new reaction and review. Tonight, guys, I'm checking out an animated film from 2015. That movie is Scooby-Doo and Kiss Rock and Roll Mystery. Now, I know a lot of you guys are looking at this and you're going, Emer, you've already done a Scooby-Doo movie and you hated the high holy hell out of it. Why the hell are you doing another one? And I do have a reason. Just please play along here for just a moment. I can count on one hand the number of times Scooby-Doo has actually been watchable and fun, at least to me. Probably the best moment were the two episodes where Scooby and the gang crossed over with Batman and Robin. I think that has mostly to do with the fact that Batman is one of my favorite comic book characters of all time, and the way that the episodes were written, Batman and Robin were able to carry the show, thus it kind of worked. So if it worked when they teamed up this cast of characters with my favorite comic book character of all time, what if they team them up with my favorite rock band of all time? Boom. Scooby-Doo and Kiss. I don't know if the members of Kiss are going to be able to save this. I do know that Kiss were in one other movie produced by Hanna-Barbera. Well, in this case, Warner Brothers, but Warner owns Hanna-Barbera. And that was Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park, which was cheesy as shit, but I actually kind of liked it. I don't know if that's going to translate well for Kiss. I kind of have hopes here. Not a single clue if this movie is going to be any good at all. The only way I'm going to find out, though, is if I shut up and I push play. And I'm going to do that right now. So, without further ado, it's time to kick back, relax, and check out Scooby-Doo and Kiss Rock and Roll Mystery. Well, guys, I can at least say this much. The opening credit sequence here is sort of cool. I actually am kind of sort of digging the way that it's animated so vastly different from the rest of the movie. And also the fact that we finally get to hear some Kiss music in a movie with Kiss. That's certainly a fucking step up. I'm actually kind of sort of digging this. So the members of Kiss have Sailor Moon-style transformations to go from one outfit to another. Alright. It's different. It's at least kind of cool. I was in no way expecting that, but it is still kind of cool. So, I'm still trying to wrap my head around this. So, the members of Kiss are descendants from an alien race. The members of Kiss are warriors tasked with guarding a stone which keeps a horrible, horrible destroyer at bay. Is there a reason why we don't have just a solo Kiss, film? Because that's sounding really cool. It'd probably be a lot better without the Scooby Gang in it. Just saying, guys. I'm really kind of liking the friggin' mythology that they are building up with Kiss. Makes me kind of wish that they just made a Kiss movie. You know what I mean? So Kiss have to open up their star fucking portal to another world by playing their one lone disco song. Interesting. I kind of thought that they would have tried to avoid this song because, well, it's Kiss doing a disco song. I honestly, guys, am not bitching because as far as disco goes, it's one of the few good ones. Still, at least it shows that they're really digging deep into the Kiss catalog for songs, man. I'm really fucking loving that. So the big villain in this film, this big mythic force that Kiss has been tasked with keeping, under fucking wraps, it's literally just Darkseid's head with fucking Galactus's helmet. That looks really awesome, dude. I actually kind of sort of wish that we focused more on that thing and less on the Crimson fucking Witch this whole time, but still, at least it looks awesome. And again, I absolutely adore the soundtrack, but then again, that's because it's Kiss, so it's fucking awesome by fucking default, man. Well, guys, that was Scooby-Doo and Kiss Rock and Roll Mystery, and as much as I'd love to listen to that song some more, I know that if I keep it playing for too long, I run the risk of this video getting flagged for copyright reasons. So, it's a good thing I pause the credits. I can rock out to modern day Delilah after I'm done talking about the movie, which is always a fucking positive. Anyway, wow, where to start? Well, I guess the best place to start with is the writing. Now, the last time I did a Scooby-Doo movie for this series, it was Scooby-Doo It was fucking WrestleMania Mystery, which featured a lot of WWE stars. The thing about that is that it was treated like a regular Scooby-Doo mystery with all of the WWE shit sort of in the background. Here, it's the polar opposite. Kiss, for the most part, have taken up the foreground with Scooby, Velma, Daphne, Fred, and Shaggy all kind of sitting in the background, which is great. What would have been better, and I know I said this before, would have been if they didn't have Scooby and the gang in there and it was just focused entirely on Kiss. Allow me to explain. This movie goes to great lengths to set up this awesome mythology about Kiss, about how they are all from this distant world. Their face paint is not actually face paint, it literally is how everyone on their planet looks. And they basically are tasked with guarding this diamond, which has kept the horrible destroyer. Actually, I should mention it's a black diamond. Kiss fans will get that reference. Which has been keeping a destroyer dormant for generations. And this Crimson Witch wants to take the diamond, wants to resurrect the destroyer, and destroy both their world and ours. Which sounds awesome. It really fucking does. I am totally digging that. And it would have been cooler if we could have gotten more of that and gotten less of the stupid bullshit involving Scooby and the gang. Because, guys, it's all the same shit. It is Scooby and Shaggy going out and munching on whatever in the hell possible. Similar to the WWE crossover, Daphne has the hots for someone. In this case, it's Paul, the star child, and Fred is horrendously jealous. They basically lifted that directly from WrestleMania Mystery, put it in here, and fucking amplified the shit out of it. And when things start getting all weird and spacey, Velma plays the ultimate fucking cynic because she is of a very scientific mind. Really, you could have cut them entirely. And it would probably have benefited the movie more if it was just a standalone Kiss film. I would probably have been even more willing to jump into it had it been a standalone Kiss film. The fact that it was tainted with Scooby-Doo kind of sort of threw me off a little bit. And when you think that the movie is veering as far the fuck away from your standard Scooby-Doo mystery as possible, especially when they travel to the alternate world and they're fighting off the witch and all this other shit, and you think it might actually be a real threat. Then in the final act, nope. It was all of it was totally fucking special effects, and they do wind up unmasking the Crimson Witch. Before that, they also then tried to explain how most of, if not everything we saw before, didn't happen, and then the film flip-flops on that again at the very end and goes, no, all of it totally fucking happened. Which makes me feel that whole scene about the chemicals in the witch's gas was absolutely unnecessary, except to maintain Velma's cynical nature. That's literally the only reason why that's in there. But otherwise, guys, our story here is great. Especially in terms of Scooby-Doo stories, it is certainly better than most. So, I can say that being someone who's not a big fan of Scooby-Doo, I absolutely adored what was here in terms of writing. What was here was strong and awesome and really fucking cool. Is it something that I would watch a second time? I'm not totally sure yet, but I'm going to touch on everything else before I give you my total final verdict here. So, writing here is strong by Scooby-Doo standards. Would have been a lot better if it was just a standalone Kiss film. What about the acting? Well, that, guys, is one thing. That is one thing where Scooby-Doo has never been bad. Is acting. You always have top-notch talent. Like, you always have Frank fucking Welker as Fred, and Welker's taken over as the voice of Scooby-Doo. That totally works. Matthew fucking Lillard has essentially become Shaggy, so that's perfect. And our whole cast does a great job, and the 4 members of Kiss also turn in fantastic work here. Acting here is strong from top to bottom. Oh, I forgot something about the writing, and that is the bottomless mountain of Kiss references. If you are a fan of Kiss, you will sit here and you will watch this thing. And I'm not just talking about the fact that they've got songs buried in here like everywhere. I'm talking there are characters whose names are references to Kiss songs. Because there are characters named Beth, Christine, Delilah. Her last name is Domino, so that actually is a double fucking reference. It just keeps on going. There's another character whose last name is Strutter. Right, there's another nice reference. I mentioned the fact that the Rock is a black fucking diamond. It just keeps on going, reference after reference, and you're gonna sit there and you're gonna smile at almost every single one of them. The only one that doesn't really work is when they refer to the Rock as Kiss's famous Detroit Rock. That one there made me almost cringe. Excuse me. But everything else, though, in terms of references to Kiss songs, references to Kiss albums, is great. They even referenced that horrendous concept album that Kiss did by talking about The Elder. That one there I was surprised by. That one there's going deep. That one there's going deep into the Kiss fucking catalog and finding shit that even Kiss normally don't like to talk about. And it fucking worked, man. It worked great. I am gonna say, if you are a fan of Kiss, you are gonna love this thing, if for no other reason than for the boatload of references to Kiss's catalog of music. This also references a lot of other things involving Kiss, such as the fact that the band has shamelessly put their name on fucking everything. And this is represented not only by the fact that the movie is set in a Kiss-themed theme park, but also the fact that Kiss is I guess their manager, sort of, does nothing but shill out mountains of Kiss merchandise. And it is some of the most mundane shit out there, which he then throws a really bloated price tag on, specifically because it has the Kiss name on it. So when he's talking about a Kiss toilet, he's talking about Kiss smelling salts, Kiss handcuffs, Kiss fucking binoculars. That is a really nice spoof on the fact that Gene fucking Simmons has made it a point to put the Kiss name on everything. Pardon me. And it works. It really does. It is a really nice, funny thing, especially if you know exactly how much Kiss has hoarded out in terms of merchandise. The other thing I find is kind of a fun little reference. I mentioned this at the very start of this video. The other Kiss film, which was Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park, which was a movie from the 70s, which is where the members of Kiss, at least the current members at that time, are superpowered beings who have to stop an evil menace ravaging a theme park. Superpowered Kiss fighting an evil force ravaging a theme park. It's basically a modern retelling of Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park, except it's animated and they dumped the fucking Scooby Gang in there. They added a lot of extra sci-fi stuff, which is pretty cool. Again, guys, writing here is totally pretty good. Hang on. God damn it, I'm sick and tired of this fucking cough. Anyway, back onto this. I talked about acting. The acting here is incredibly strong. I am not going to dump on the acting here. The acting is amazing. Animation. Animation in this thing, well, guys, this thing is a direct-to-video Warner Brothers film, and it really doesn't matter if it's a direct-to-video Scooby-Doo film, a direct-to-video DC Comics film. Warner Brothers pumps out top-notch animation when they do these things, and this is some amazing animation. It is. I absolutely loved how everything just flowed perfectly, and their crowd shots looked awesome. There's just everything, guys, including how when they jump into Kiss's alien home fucking world, instead of it having the usual color friggin' scheme that we have in the rest of the film, it almost takes on this Silver Age Marvel fucking comics kind of a look, and it was great. Which could also be a reference to the fact that Kiss had a comic published by Marvel back in the 70s. I'm just taking a wild stab there. I'm just not sure if that would get tossed onto the pile of Kiss references or not, but who cares? It still looks really fucking cool. Music. Well, because this is a movie with Kiss, there's a ton of Kiss music. And one thing that I'm kind of sort of surprised by, because normally, guys, when you do something like this, especially since Scooby-Doo's had crossovers with tons of bands over these many years, normally they will just take whatever the hell was on the albums and will just toss them into the movie because why not? You can tell that these are newly recorded versions of these Kiss songs, and that actually does make sense here because they do play a lot of real classic Kiss songs, which is back when the lineup was made up of Gene Simmons, Paul Stanley, Ace Frehley, and Peter Criss. Peter Criss and Ace Frehley are no longer with the band. Instead, we have Eric Singer and Tommy Thayer. So we have the band doing classic Kiss songs, only now with Thayer and Singer in there. And it does sound a little bit different, and that's mainly because how the drums are done just a little bit differently, and the vocals sound just slightly different. Mind you, guys, it isn't bad. In fact, it actually is sort of cool. I kind of like the idea of excuse me. I like the idea of the band coming in and actually re-recording these songs for this movie. That was cool as shit. And everything here, which is not Kiss, also sounds really solid. Everything else here is really solid rocking sort of stuff in order to kind of sort of match the general tone of Kiss's music. And that's great. That's fucking awesome. Which makes me almost want to find the fucking score to this, because a lot of it was really awesome sounding stuff. Let's see, what else can I really talk about? Special effects. There actually are a whole lot of friggin' there are a lot of friggin' lighting effects and everything else, and all of that is done incredibly well. There also is a little bit of CG in here, and a lot of that is done incredibly well. Guys, honestly, everything here is sort of solid, but there is a small problem. Besides my cough, I mean. Problem is that would I be able to recommend the movie? Can I recommend Scooby-Doo and Kiss Rock and Roll Mystery to rent? Yes. This thing's absolutely worth checking out at least once. But I don't really think it would be worth watching a second time, which is kind of sort of the thing, because almost everything else that I've seen from fucking Scooby-Doo that I actually like, it's stuff that I've been able to watch multiple times. I've had no problem with it. Those few sparse things, mind you, are just the two Scooby-Doo Batman crossovers and the Scooby-Doo and the Reluctant Werewolf movie. Those are it for the other good Scooby-Doo things I've seen. Those I could totally sit down and watch anytime, any place. This thing, as much as I liked it and as interesting as it was, I don't really see it as something that is worth watching a second time. I would probably think totally differently if they had excised Scooby-Doo from it and just made it a film focused totally on the superpowered alien members of Kiss, that would have been fucking amazing. We could have probably had an even deeper story without it being lashed onto the Scooby-Doo formula. Unfortunately, that is not what we got, and ultimately Scooby-Doo's presence here actually hinders the film and stops it from being something absolutely awesome. And on that note, I would like to say I am all for Warner Brothers putting out at least one standalone animated Kiss film with this version of Kiss, with this super powered Guardians of the Universe Kiss. I would love to see a standalone movie with that, probably with even more Kiss references thrown in. I would absolutely adore that. So I can say that after seeing this, I would love to see a Scooby-Doo free sequel. However, though, beyond that, and as much as I loved seeing this, I don't really think I'm going to watch it a second time. So, yes, if you guys see this thing on like fucking Netflix, check it out. If you see it on like Redbox, by all means, rent it. If you see it anywhere for rental, go right ahead. Pardon me. If you can find any place where you can rent it, whether it be whether it be like a digital fucking rental or Netflix or Hulu or whatever the fuck source, by all means go right ahead. I'm not sure if I could totally recommend a purchase though, which kind of sort of shocks me. I honest to God thought I was going to love this thing, specifically because, again, I talked about my Scooby-Doo and Batman theory, and it almost worked. So I can at least recommend it for rental. Purchase, not quite so much. I could probably recommend it for purchase if you're a diehard fan of Scooby-Doo, but that's literally the only reason why I'd be able to recommend it is if you've loved everything else with Scooby-Doo, then you are going to love this because it really is a lot more of the same. And if you're a big fan of Kiss, you will at least get a good single fun viewing out of it. If you're a fan of both Kiss and Scooby-Doo, then shit, you are in fucking heaven, man. Myself though, at least I'm happy that I got to watch it once. Now, Scooby-Doo and Kiss Rock and Roll Mystery came off the Amazon wishlist. The person who sent it in was Gears, and you can check out his DeviantArt page over at gearsx.deviantart.com. Gears, dude, I thank you. I was really psyched when I finally got this thing because I wanted to see exactly what they were going to do with Scooby-Doo and Kiss, all right? And what I wound up seeing was really fucking cool. It's just that, once more, it just didn't quite win me over enough to want to watch it a second time. But I am happy that I got to see it once, and I have you to thank for it, dude. You're fucking awesome. Once more, that is gearsx.deviantart.com. Now, I mentioned Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park. Unfortunately, I don't have that one on DVD because it's fallen out of print a couple of times. I'm gonna go see if it's on YouTube somewhere. I'm gonna go and give it a watch there because even though that movie is cheesy as fuck, it is a fun, cheesy film to watch. And if you guys haven't seen Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park, that one I can highly recommend. And if you find it on DVD anywhere and it's at a reasonable price, fucking snag it because it is borderline impossible to find unless you buy one of those Kiss concert like box sets they dumped it in there as like a bonus feature. But I don't want to spend that kind of money on a box set for just a movie and a bunch of concerts I'm probably never going to watch. Not a big fan of concert films personally. Anyway, guys, that is going to do it for this episode of Reaction and Review. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care, and I will see you all in the near future. Peace.